The night he kissed me for the first time, I felt my whole world tilt, slowly, silently, but dangerously toward a place I swore I'd never go again. His breath carried heat and rebellion, his hands trembled but never hesitated. The dim lights in his apartment flickered like my own restraint, weak, faint, ready to die with one more touch. "Are you sure?" he whispered. I wanted to say no. But my body said yes. Before we go deeper, please, if you're listening or watching, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, tap that like button, and share this video. You're about to step into a true infidelity confession that burned hotter than guilt and left scars deeper than love. Now, let's go back, to where it all started. It was a rainy Thursday in Atlanta. My husband had traveled again, another business trip, another excuse, another lonely bed. Marriage had become like cold toast, there, but tasteless. I was tired of craving warmth from a man who texted more than he touched. Then came Caleb. He wasn't supposed to matter. Just a contractor, young, playful, full of uninvited charm. His words had this careless flavor of danger. He noticed what my husband forgot to see, my perfume, my new hair, my silence. The day he came to fix the kitchen lighting, he said something that clung to my skin long after he left. "You look like someone who deserves sunlight, not shadows." That night, I couldn't sleep. His voice replayed in my head like a song I wasn't supposed to love. Days passed. Then he texted, nothing serious, just, "Hope the light's still working." But it wasn't the light in the kitchen that he reignited, it was the one buried inside me. I started answering. Joking. Laughing. Then, flirting. The distance between "thank you" and "I miss you" became dangerously short. Somewhere between the nights of my husband's silence and Caleb's words, I began tasting sin in small doses. I told myself it was harmless, just conversation. Just escape. Until that evening he came again, this time not to fix the light, but to shatter every bit of control I had left. The apple was right there between us, sweet, red, forbidden. And he was fiery at sucking the taste of temptation I had hidden for too long. Midway reminder. If this story touches a piece of your hidden truth, like, share, and subscribe. More true infidelity stories drop every week. It didn't happen all at once. It began with glances, the kind that last a heartbeat too long, the kind that makes silence feel heavier than words. I remember the first time his hand brushed mine across the office counter. A spark, simple and innocent on the surface, but it left a warmth I carried home that night. I told myself it was nothing. Just friendliness. Just curiosity. But deep down, I knew something was shifting. He started showing up more often, coffee breaks, errands, excuses. And I started waiting for him. The sound of his voice became my guilty rhythm. I was the apple on a branch that didn't belong to him, yet he reached, daily, without shame. "Don't you ever get tired of pretending?" he whispered one evening, his voice dangerously close. I should have said yes. I should have walked away. Instead, I smiled and let silence answer for me. Soft pause, call for viewers. Speech balloon. If you're feeling this story right now, don't forget to tap that like button and subscribe for more true tales of love, lies, and the heat that hides behind closed doors. By the third week, pretending was no longer an option. His texts became my morning coffee. His scent, my evening lullaby. Every time he spoke my name, the world around us seemed to fade into a quiet where right and wrong lost their meaning. He was not mine to love. I was not his to hold. But we both were reckless enough to ignore that truth. The morning light didn't feel the same anymore. It was softer, heavier, like it knew what I did last night. I woke up beside my husband, but the warmth I felt wasn't his. It was his, the other him. The man who made me taste sin and smile through it. Before I move deeper, please don't forget, if you're watching this, hit that subscribe button, like, and share. There are stories hidden behind every wedding ring, and some of them sound like mine. I kept replaying last night in my mind, the way his lips devoured what wasn't meant for him. The way I let him. His mouth had no mercy, and yet I didn't want mercy. His hands had purpose, and every purpose burned through my boundaries. When he touched me, I forgot my name. When he whispered mine, I remembered why I had to forget it. That morning, I stood in the kitchen pretending to make breakfast, but my body was still trembling from his touch. I could still feel his lips at the corner of my neck where he bit down, like he wanted to leave a secret mark, a private brand of belonging. He wasn't supposed to matter. But he did. And the worst part? I wanted more. By noon, I caught myself texting him. 3 words, I can't stop. He replied almost instantly. Then don't. Speech balloon pause reminder for viewers, if this story is touching something in you, don't forget to subscribe. You might find pieces of your truth here too. I saw him again that evening. The same parking lot behind his gym, where the smell of cologne and sweat mixed with guilt. The windows fogged, our breaths heavy. He didn't even speak this time, he just took me with his eyes first, like a man who'd been starving. Every kiss was a bite into something forbidden. Every sigh was a prayer I never meant to say. But something shifted after that night. He wasn't just taking my body anymore, he was taking my mind. My heart. My reason. He wanted more than my flesh, he wanted my hours, my messages, my life between walls that didn't belong to him. And for the first time, I realized, this wasn't just passion. It was possession. His lips lingered where they shouldn't. His breath, warm, deliberate, traveled the length of my neck like it knew the route by heart. I trembled. Not because I feared him, but because I feared myself, what I was turning into. Every time he kissed me, I felt my loyalty melting, my vows turning into ashes between his sighs. It wasn't love, not the kind that builds homes or raises children. No, it was the kind that undoes everything you thought you knew about love. He didn't just kiss me, he devoured me. Like the apple that should have stayed untouched, the apple meant for home fronts, for the quiet husband who thought I was loyal. Each time he whispered, just once more, my conscience bled a little deeper, but my body betrayed me. His touch was a sermon of sin, a confession of pleasure, and I found redemption in the ruin of it. The air between us grew heavy, moaning with guilt and greed. My heart raced faster than the lies I told at home, lies that now felt like silk wrapping around a naked truth I couldn't hide anymore. And just before I drowned completely, he looked at me, eyes dark, hungry, and said, "You taste like what's never meant to be shared." That night, I stopped pretending I didn't want the forbidden. I wanted it all, his breath, his chaos, his wrongness, because somehow, it made me feel alive again. Kiss mark call to action, mid-story reminder. If you're feeling this heat, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true confessions that blur the line between desire and destruction. Every story here hides a piece of truth. It's crazy how something that feels so wrong can taste like your deepest right. That's how it was with him, fiery, wild, like a storm trapped inside a kiss. The night started slow, the kind of calm before temptation takes off its gloves. The house was silent, the street dim, and my heart? Loud. It kept telling me to stop, but my skin told a different story. When he showed up at my door, his shirt half open, that scent of danger trailing behind him, I knew we weren't just going to talk about what this meant. "You shouldn't have come," I whispered. "Then tell me to leave," he said, voice low, heat crawling between the spaces our words couldn't fill. I didn't. I couldn't. His lips brushed mine like a match striking, and everything caught fire. The apple I'd kept for my home, my marriage, my vows, suddenly wasn't mine anymore. He sucked that innocence, that promise, and replaced it with hunger. I gasped, not from pain, but from the realization that I'd crossed a point of no return. Halfway through that dizzying night, I caught myself whispering, like, comment, and subscribe if you've ever felt trapped between loyalty and longing. My anonymous confession had begun to feed my own release, the only way to unload the guilt that came wrapped in pleasure. He tasted of sin and bourbon. His hands roamed like they were mapping forbidden territory. Every touch reminded me I was both the sinner and the sermon. He didn't love me. Not the way a man should. But he made me feel alive, seen, desired. "You're playing with fire," he murmured against my neck. "Maybe I'm tired of being cold," I breathed back. And that was it, we fell again. The apple turned bitter halfway through, but I kept biting. Because sometimes, what burns you also becomes your comfort. When it was over, the silence wasn't peace. It was the echo of something I knew I couldn't have again, but would always crave. Loudspeaker, if you're still here listening, don't forget to like this story, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more true infidelity confessions, the kind that aren't just told, but felt. Because sometimes, the fruit we hide is the one that ruins us. His lips lingered where they shouldn't. His breath, warm, deliberate, traveled the length of my neck like it knew the route by heart. I trembled. Not because I feared him, but because I feared myself, what I was turning into. Every time he kissed me, I felt my loyalty melting, my vows turning into ashes between his sighs. It wasn't love, not the kind that builds homes or raises children. No, it was the kind that undoes everything you thought you knew about love. He didn't just kiss me, he devoured me. Like the apple that should have stayed untouched, the apple meant for home fronts, for the quiet husband who thought I was loyal. Each time he whispered, "just once more," my conscience bled a little deeper, but my body betrayed me. His touch was a sermon of sin, a confession of pleasure, and I found redemption in the ruin of it. The air between us grew heavy, moaning with guilt and greed. My heart raced faster than the lies I told at home, lies that now felt like silk wrapping around a naked truth I couldn't hide anymore. And just before I drowned completely, he looked at me, eyes dark, hungry, and said, "You taste like what's never meant to be shared." That night, I stopped pretending I didn't want the forbidden. I wanted it all, his breath, his chaos, his wrongness, because somehow, it made me feel alive again. Call to action, mid-story reminder. If you're feeling this heat, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true confessions that blur the line between desire and destruction. Every story here hides a piece of truth.